Assisting clients. Meet Thuli, a paralegal at Vuga Community Advice Office. Her role, or rather the role of any paralegal, is to educate, assist and advise consumers in matters such as debt and credit, consumer rights and responsibilities, credit bureau and consequences of being over-indebted, to name a few. Please note, although Thuli can assist clients to budget and better manage their finances, she is not allowed to give financial advice. As a paralegal, this is how you should assist, advise, and educate your clients. Remember to always consult the Black Sash Debt, Credit and Consumer Rights Paralegal Manual to familiarize yourself with important issues. Before the meeting with your client, make a photocopy of the client record sheets as well as the information sheet. You will use this to note down any important information during the interview with your client. Upon your client's arrival, introduce yourself and your work and tell your client what you can and cannot do to help them. Ask the client to give you copies of any accounts or documents they may have brought with them. If they have received any documents but not brought them with them, ask them to bring them to the next meeting so you can be clear about the situation. If your client is having trouble paying back their debts, you will have to assist using the assessment in Chapter 2 of the Black Sash Paralegal Manual. Assess how serious their situation is, making sure that the client understands that the nature of the assessment is informal. This may include assessing the payments they are still making or should be making. If you think that they are over-indebted, you can. Number 1. Advise your client to speak to their creditors and arrange with them how they plan to pay off their debt. Number 2. Alternatively, you can advise them to apply directly to the magistrate's court to be declared over-indebted, and the court may rearrange their obligations. Number 3. As a last resort, if their problems are beyond their ability to negotiate, they can approach a registered debt counselor who will negotiate a repayment plan with the credit providers on their behalf. Advise your client to listen carefully to the information that the debt counselor provides them with. Ask questions and try to seek independent advice before signing the application form for debt review. If a credit provider has been reckless in granting your client credit, your client can apply to court or tribunal, as the case may be to have the credit agreement declared as reckless. If a court or tribunal declares that a credit agreement is reckless, the court may either set aside all or part of the consumer's obligations under that agreement or suspend the credit agreement until a date determined by the court. If your client has received a written notice, letter of demand from the credit provider, check if proper procedures have been followed. See Checklist 1 in the Black Sash Paralegal Manual on Debt, Credit and Consumer Rights on written notice. It is very important for your client to respond to a written notice. It is still not too late for them to negotiate with the credit provider or to see a debt counselor. If legal action has been taken against your client, consult Chapter 5 on legal proceedings on the Black Sash Paralegal Manual on Debt, Credit and Consumer Rights. Check if legal procedures have been properly followed and advise your client how to respond. This could include you helping the client to respond to the allegations. See Checklist 2, the consent to judgment and the summons, as well as Checklist 3, court orders in the Black Sash Paralegal Manual on Debt, Credit and Consumer Rights. If your client has been treated unfairly or unlawfully in any way, and they want you to act on their behalf, check that you have the client's permission in writing to pursue this with the suitable institutions. If there have been no faults in the process, start to work with the client on possible solutions to their situation. You need to find out what resources and ideas the client may have to solve the problem. Your advice will be important in helping them to exercise their rights and to think of constructive ways of finding solutions. For detailed information on how paralegals should assist clients, please refer to the Paralegal Manual, Assisting Clients section.